It's Tuesday morning here on iBrandTV Lagos, and it's Daybreak, the very last edition for the month of June. And we're so glad to be here to make it happen, to give you that good touch you've been looking out for that will keep you smiling throughout the rest of the day. I'm Michael Nath, and I've got with me here
Margaret Opara, good morning. Actually, tomorrow is the last edition for the month of June, but this is the last Tuesday in the month of June, and that's why we're bringing you all interesting lineup of events, starting from our news update to our paper review segment, and also to a topic for discussion this beautiful Tuesday morning, and also moving on to sport for the sports lovers, and of course, bringing you up to speed with what's happening on social media, because social media is always buzzing. We urge you to stay with us, enjoy, stay tuned. If you're in traffic, at home, in school, in your office, just relax as we bring you interesting events this morning. Now let's start with the news updates. Dr. Fiscal Shaibu, Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development, NPHCDA, says a total of 3.4 million doses of Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine have so far been utilized for the first and second dose of vaccinations. He said this is said was approximately 8% of the total COVID-19 vaccine stock in the country. He gave the statistics while speaking at the national briefing of the COVID-19 Presidential Steering Committee on Monday in Abuja. He confirmed a total of 4,024,000 doses of 4,024,000 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine were received by the federal government of Nigeria in March 2021. He said 3.924 million came through the COVAX facility and another 100,000 doses from the government of India.
The federal government has approved the extension of the deadline for NIN SIM, that's Name SIM Data Verification, to the 26th of July 2021. The decision to extend the deadline was made after a request by stakeholders on the need to consolidate the enrollment and NIN SIM verification process following the rapid increase in the number of enrollment systems across the country. As at June 28, 2021, a total of 5,410 enrollment systems are now available across the country. And this would significantly ease the NIN enrollment process and subsequent linkage of NIN to SIM.
Now, brother to late Super TV CEO Dr. Isi Ataga says the victim, Osifu Ataga, was bound, gagged, and tortured before he was murdered. The body of the deceased was found in a hotel room where he had spent the night with the 300-level students of the University of Lagos, Chidinma Ojukwu, who confessed to having killed him. Isi expressed the doubts that the murder was carried out by a single person, owing to the manner it was done.
Now to Ethiopia. Ethiopia's government has declared a ceasefire in its war-torn Tigray region as rebel fighters claim control of the regional capital, Mekelle. Residents reported scenes of jubilation with thousands of people in the streets waving flags and setting off fireworks. The Ethiopian government has not confirmed the loss of the city nearly 8 months after its forces ousted the Tigrayan rebels. The conflict has pushed the region into a deep humanitarian crisis.
Still on the foreign scene, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison said on Monday night, June 28th, that AstraZeneca vaccine will be made available to anyone under the age of 40 once they consult with their doctor. More than 20 million Australians, about 80% of the population, are under some form of lockdown or coronavirus-related restrictions. Vaccine rollout has been slow in Australia because of supply problems and concerns about blood clots with the AstraZeneca vaccine, which led the government to limit its use to people over 60.
And that draws the curtain on a news update on the show this morning. We're going to take a breather. We'll be back right after this very brief moment with the major topic for the day. I beg your pardon. We're going to come up with the newspaper review, and we expect to have a guest here to help us analyze it. Stay with us.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Professional dry cleaners. Best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. For clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes?
I have a solution for you.
Really? Mm-hmm.
If you no sabi cook the banga, no go enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga eforiro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali banga, natural palm fruit extracts for tasty African cuisine. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Professional dry cleaners. Best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. For clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiville, and now my skin finally makes sense.
Many thanks for staying with us. This is still iBrand Daybreak. And now it's time for our paper review segment. And joining us in the studio to analyze this point is a public affairs analyst and a broadcast journalist in the person of Charles Ideho. Good morning, Charles.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much. Quite a while.
Yeah,
I remember we used to be somewhere together.
It's a small world.
I think this
Quite
is
a small world.
Yeah, that's
in the
fine.
middle of it.
We are uniting again.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll begin with the Nation paper. From the top says 4.2 million Nigerians get COVID-19 vaccination. Government issues new jabs. Okay, killers tied Super TV boss hands with rope. Police throw conspirators and APCON to Jimo Ibrahim, Nikon Hotel for sale. UK to spend 2.116 million to fight Boko Haram and ISWAP. Now the top story says ethnic nationalities to push bill on restructuring and others. The writers are saying ATF proposal gets Ohaneze, Pandev, Middle Belt forums support Afenifere, ALG give conditions and previous constitutions for use as guide. And lastly, from the Nation paper says NNPC to acquire 20% stake in oil refineries.
And then now to The Guardian. At the very top of this paper, we have travelers ditch summer travel over multiple tests, 100% hike in airfares. Now, stakeholders canvass railway reform as Abuja-Kaduna train suffers another breakdown. At the bottom portion of this paper, we have federal government embargoes travelers from Brazil, Turkey, India by 1 more month. And 2 soldiers, 12 terrorists killed as troops, ISWAP, clash in Borno.
Now moving on to the Punch, the top story says border corruption. Security agents, smugglers worsen subsidy crisis, flout Buhari's orders. The writers are saying blame security agents. We have 30 checkpoints along Katsina GBR Road, coming from a community leader and Nigerian businessman. Security agents smuggle petrol for Cameroonians, rebels say source. Smuggling done by residents coming from the customs and troops can't engage in such criminal activities coming from the Nigerian army. Now, details of this is on page 2 of the Punch paper. Moving on, Benno states the malicious suspected kidnappers building. Police arrests wife. Lawyers contest plea bargain as ex-JAMB registrar arraigned for 900 million naira fraud. Roberts Wade Oshun Christian Corpus Lodge injures 6, steal 130,000 naira. Details on page 25 of the Punch. And free hike protests. Casualties unknown as police clamp down on Kaduna students. Page 7 has the story. Now to the topmost part of the paper says diesel price jumps to 280 naira. LCCI says inflation will rise. Page 19. PDP threatens litigation as APC opens talks with 3 governors. Among many others, I'll just take the last one and says Senate tears apart NSITF management alleged agency embezzles 84 billion naira.
And to the Nigerian Tribune, COVID-19. Federal government bans travelers from South Africa to receive more vaccines from India. Our defecting governors lack courage. This coming from PDP, with riders there threatens to challenge Zamfara governor in court. 18 APC governors set to receive Matawale National State Assembly members, PDP excos at all levels in the state to also defect to APC. Yeah. Charles?
Yes.
We're on to you right now. We have headlines there, but let's pick up this one concerning the defection of PDP governors to the APC. Now, the mass defection of these PDP members to the APC is quite alarming. Is it worth raising concern among the PDP as a party?
Well, there are so many factors that we could just throw up as being plausible reasons for what you are looking at today. First is that the PDP has not been able to put its house in order. Remember that the activities that built up to 2015 election that threw up Buhari as the eventual winner of that election.
Yeah.
The PDP was really torn apart, where you had the Shekarau of this war, Shekarau and the other man, where they were out at each other's throat, and they're seeking to drown PDP. So even some of what I personally was even happy when PDP had to jump back again to reckon it, because there's no polity that can survive a one-party system in Africa. So which was why exactly why we need another party to also be like a watchdog, so the opposition, if you will. But what we're having today, we are drifting. We're almost drifting to one party state, which of course will not bode well for us as a country, because we are developing democracy. People say we are still a nascent, but I think for a system to have endured for about 20 years and all, you can't call that nascent. We ought to have learned from wherever we are coming from. We came all the way from 1999 or to this way, so it's not a journey of 2 days. So, but what you are witnessing today is what you witness when you have an absence of identifiable ideology, okay? Because the parties you have today, you can hardly differentiate the one from the other. Okay, but unlike in the system that the military handed over to us then, even though which of them went prostrate, the NRC and PD and SDP, the one that threw Abiola up, the SDP, and you have TOFA. Okay. At that time, you could, even though I was we're doing a diploma in June like that time when those things happened, you could identify what the NRC represented. You have a little to the right, then the PDP, the SDP was a little to the left. So if you were PDP, we knew what you were pursuing. If you not PDP, SDP, if you were NRC, you know what you were pursuing. Then when you now rewind backward to the Second Republic, where you had the 5-party states that had sway. Then you had the UPN that controlled by five states at that time: Bende, Ondo, Ogun, Lagos, and which others? Oyo. You could say this were progressive. This was a progressive party. All the state what was central to their administration was free education, and they never deviated. I am, as I speak, being here today speaking this grammar, I'm a product of that free education in Bende State.
Wow.
I went through school. I only bought uniform and paid boarding fees. Where pencils, rulers, and books were all given to me. I was only paying 30 naira as boarding fees. Mm-hmm. This same Nigeria. Then if you went to the east, then they also had their job. If you went to the north, it was agriculture and all that. If you remember Operation Feed Nation that they inherited from the Obasanjo government. But today you also went to Gongola, the Gongola, which of course has become Taraba and Adamawa and all that. You could also see there were this. You could find identifiable ideology, inter-party ideology. But today, what is separating from PDP and from APC, you can't find. Yeah. Before this government came in, PDP had almost all the governors, apart from just a few. Yeah. That you had the AD, later metamorphosed to ACN.
Okay.
That they now coalesce with other to form to this APC. You had the ABGA. You had the ANPP also, and then you have the CPC of Buhari. So you had those parties, but PDP had sway. So almost all the governors were all PDP, right? But today now that's dead. You also have the migration from
the reverse is the case.
So it tells you that our politicians are not mature. it tells you that politicians, they do not seek the good of all. It tells you that we have been, those people we're all looking up to, they are not all those that will take us to that desired Eldorado that we are looking towards. I have a dream for this country. I have a desire to even do certain things that will make me bigger than who I am today. But this current leadership, all of them put together, can't take us there. My governor in Edo State, I come from Edo State, Obaseki, this night, Edo State was APC. At dawn, it became PDP. How does it happen? Ghana, that's also we are brothers. If you see, you couldn't defect from one part to the next, and you were not seen as a renegade. Yeah. It's just like a Catholic family, a devoted Catholic family in Nigeria, or a devout Catholic family in Nigeria. You hardly see a son of that Catholic man going to join Pentecostal, and you could say, where are you coming from? It is like that in Ghana. It's an aberration for you to leave one party today, because what are you looking for? Because you have clear-cut ideology that if you are pursuing this, people, you are identified with that. And the other party in Ghana, for instance, if you were going to cross, they won't accept it because they said you are a betrayer to the other party. But here, what do we have? Today you are PDP, tomorrow you are APC.
Thank you so much, Charles, taking us down the memory lane there,
exactly.
Politically speaking, that is. Now, the presidency on Sunday said it was curious that the Niger Delta Avengers issued threats to resume bombing of critical oil and gas installations and to also embark on economic sabotage unless certain demands, including the development of the Niger Delta and restructuring, are met. Now, however, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, said the text of Buhari's speech at the meeting with the Niger Delta leaders on Friday, which he reproduced in his press statement, rendered the threats by the group unnecessary. We still have very much around here Charles Ideho.
That's right. You are careful not to.
Yeah, I was very. It was very deliberate.
We learn about
Okay, now, can you please highlight some of these demands?
Well, incidentally, I am from Niger Delta. Rightly so, and proudly so. But I would say that some of these demands, I may not agree with most of the policies of this current administration, but I mean, that's personal to me. But for this, I think those Niger Delta, they said they are the Niger Delta elders. What they are putting forward is self-seeking. I know why I'm saying so. Self-seeking.
Wow.
Because when you look at the agenda, the points of Nigeria they put forward, you now ask your question: all these points their own demand, are they what will be of benefit to all the Niger Delta? I mean, for the benefit of those who are watching, when you mention Niger Delta today, the jaws of Niger Delta want to own that name. See, there is a difference between Niger Delta and South. People don't know that. Niger Delta has 9 states. South has 6 states. And South, in order for easy identification, you call them the Brace state. And Brace is an acronym for B for Bayelsa, R for Rivers, A for Akwa Ibom, C for Cross River, E for Edo, and D for that's why they call them Braced states. Just as you have the Dawn Commission in the Southwest, that's the development agenda for Western Nigeria. So you need to also look at, if they are saying they are fighting for Niger Delta, this demand about developing Niger Delta, does it affect the Imo man? People don't know that Imo State is part of Niger Delta.
Yeah.
People don't know that Abia State is part of Niger Delta. People don't know that Ondo in the Southwest is part of Niger Delta. Do you understand? So if these people are coming together and say they want the Niger Delta developed, it's a legitimate demand, but I say it's self-seeking. The reason I say so is that all the people who have been ministers of Niger Delta, were they from the Hausa Fulani tribe? The answer is no. Have you seen anybody before who is the chairman of NDDC? They draw him from Ogun State. The answer again is no. Have you seen Minister of Petroleum, for instance, who, apart from Jubri Aminu of the world of the, but Buhari has held on to that position. People also know that Buhari also doubles at the
president and this.
But today, who do you have? You have had a son of Niger Delta in Kachuku. Kachuku was from Delta State. From Delta State. Timi Alaibe, Timi Presiva that is there today is a Bayelsa man who is Niger Delta. What's his name? The former Akwa Ibom governor, there's a senator. I've tried to live. There's now he's now heading Godswill Akpabio. Is he from Adamawa? No. So the 13% derivation that had accrued to that area for over a long time. I mean, collectively, 13% to each of them, each of the 6 states, and make up Niger Delta. What have they done with those accruals?
Wow.
What are they doing with that? So, and number 2, they're also looking for, they said, unless you restructure, we are going to embark on bombings. Look, the Southeast, they say they felt cheated and they still feel cheated that they have 5 states where Northwest has 7 states, Southwest has 6 states, and all that have 6 states and all that. They are the only region that have. I mean, they are also making legitimate. Have you ever seen they say they're going to be embarking on bombings of all this installation before you can give another state? And that's why those people who are there, they are INC. INC is an acronym for Ijaw National Congress, not Niger Delta National Congress.
That's correct.
The Niger Delta Avenger talking about now, they are all mostly peopled by Ijaw people. You understand what I'm saying? There's no Edo person, there's no Akwa Ibom person, you hardly find a Rivers, maybe a Okrika man or a Kwere man in all these ones. So that's why I'm saying they should subpedal. For the fact that you have access to guns and all that doesn't mean you have to start bragging every time. You have to now start making all of it to sit on the edge. What I think we should do, there are legitimate ways to table your grievances. No government that has been elected in Nigeria has been able to create even a local government. Tinubu attempted it here, but you saw him for 20 months, allocation for Lagos was seized. All the states you have now, the balkanization of Nigeria was done by the military. Because when the military comes in, what did they do? They suspend everything that has to do with law and all that. They rule by fiat. They rule by martial laws. And that's why they were able to create all these states to exist by fiat. So if you want a state, no problem. But let it pass through the legitimate means that the National Assembly, all of us collectively, we all surrendered our money to them to hold in trust for us. So if you want, they've all gone through Nigeria, collecting, there were people who were submitting memorandums and all of that about what they demands in their states. Why don't we wait, like the President has said, let's know what will be the outcome of that. You can't resort to bombings because the President has told you, say, don't worry, all this issue of restructuring, he can't do it because he can't rule by fiat. You understand? He ruled by means of law, and there are, we have a body of law in Nigeria, a body of laws in Nigeria, which is what we call the statute book. We call it, I think there's another name they call it, the Nigerian Constitution. The President cannot act outside the
independently.
Then when people are talking about, maybe quickly add this, when people are talking about National Assembly and all that, and I hear people saying we should adopt 1963 Republican Constitution, which is also good. But I can tell you that if you do that right now, you adopt that, what you have done simply is that you have illegitimized this current National Assembly and all that, because what brought them into power is the 1999 Constitution. So if you adopt another one, what you have done is that you have rendered them useless because you can't build something on nothing.
All right, let's go back to the Niger Delta. What's happening? Let's just spread our tentacles wide now. You talked about patience, and there's a need for them to, the Avengers, quotes, to breathe and calm down and wait for...
And seek legitimate means.
Okay, now I want to bring you back to what happened in OD. I think it's sometime in 1999, yes. And the Ogoni cleanup that has been, the spillage, it damaged a lot of things. That's been on for a while and different promises. The Oloibiri in Bayelsa State, Calabari and Okrika regions, even the Korea region, even some parts of your Edo State, some parts of Imo State, what would you say? Have they not been patient enough? That's just where I want to streamline my questions.
Well, there is what is called the Ogoni cleanup you talked about. I think there's a name they've given it in. I think they call it hydrocarbon remediation project or so.
Hydrocarbon pollution remediation project.
Yes, that's what they call it. And I said that the federal government has made promises. And you remember when the Vice President went there for the groundbreaking, they said it's going to take about 25 years for the cleanup to be totally done. We have been expecting, I personally have been expectant of that, for the fact that they should speed up. There's been a delay on the part of government because of politics. They're talking about who will constitute the labor force. the locals are asking for maybe about 75% or so of the local content in terms of the staffing. But the other side, everybody has an interest. But recently, what the president told, part of what he told the INC representative was that they were sure he's going to mandate the Ministry of Labor, Ministry of whoever is responsible to ensure that the local content law should be respected in terms of staffing of those who are going to be responsible in the cleanup of Ogunla, which of course will serve as assuaging their demands and all that. Yes, you're quite right. There's been degradation and everywhere, oil spillage and all that. There was a time in the past, in recent past, when I understand that there was black rain falling in Ogunla because of gas flaring and all that, and so, which of course went up to the clouds and mixed up the cloud, and it returned to us as black rain. The people are suffering. They can't fish. They can't farm. They can't do anything. Yes, we are all aware of that. I'm also a victim of that, being being a son of Niger Delta and all that. But what I'm saying first is that we already have a problem on our hands, which is of course the degradation, right? Now, if you now resort to bombing, when you bomb oil facility, you cause spillage into the sea. Will it clean the sea?
Worsen the situation.
Or you worsen the situation. So bombings and all that, as I said, may not be the solution. There are ways to ventilate. There are ways to ensure that your grievances are looked at. You may say the government have become very recalcitrant, but there's a way of dealing with a recalcitrant system. No, but I think bombings is, for me, should be an antediluvian method of seeking redress. There are ways you could do that, where you could say, okay, let's face. So because why I'm saying so is that the government in power today was put in place by law, by the collective mandate of Nigerians. Whether you voted for Buhari or not is immaterial. Buhari is there by popular mandate, which of course is holding trust for you, holding trust for me, holding trust for her. So if we must make progress from this point A to the point B, we must ensure we do that to divorce ourselves from the savage way of doing this. We can't begin to look at how the Vikings of those days, some of who went to study English, remember the Vikings and all that. We can't go back to that era anymore. We can't go back to the era of when the Oyo Empire, all those were all fighting wars. No, there are ways to ventilate. There are ways you can come at a round table, whether round table, square table, or square table, or rectangular table, for us to discuss. Exactly, just a table. Yes.
Now, this threat came barely 48 hours. After the president had met with the leaders of this region. And I guess that's the reason it was said to be unnecessary. There was no need whatsoever for it.
What does that tell you?
No, I was going to mention something here. You said that the leaders are self-seekers or self-serving.
That's right.
Don't you think that the reason this threat still came up even after that meeting could be because these do not trust these guys who went there to represent them?
I just told you, I'm from Niger Delta. I am close to some. I may not be close to all the powers in Niger, but I'm close to the powers in Edo State and some other state and all that. As a journalist, I've covered politics. I fraternize with politicians and all that. I may not be a politician, but I'm very close to them. And there are some privileged information that some of us also do have from time to time. But I can tell you, what it tells you is that there's a visible disconnect between the boys who are making this threat and the leaders, so-called. I call it so-called. So why?
What's your reason for that?
Well, so-called because if you pride yourself of being the representative of the people, okay, so it presupposes that you are speaking for them. Okay, how can you pride yourself of speaking for the people for whom you are speaking, barely 24 hours when you have spoken for them.
48
they
hours,
are saying
actually.
no, 48 hours. After that, you say, okay, they are still saying we're going to do this. So question is, what you went to the seat of power to do, did you not take back word to these people over there? When you came back, did you meet with them to say, boys, come, let's talk. This is what we have placed the demand before the president. This is exactly what he told us. This is what is told. We throw it on the table and let the boys look at it. Let them take a look at it and say, okay, whether what the president has told them, whether the promises are what you can take to the bank or not. So it tells you that, as I said, it's self-serving. They went there, obvious as it turned out, not to represent themselves. If you represented the people, as I said, presuppose that when you got back, you ought to have called them to say, this and this and this are the outcomes of the meeting we went to Abuja to hold with the president. But it seemed like it never happened. If it happened, these boys would not have this bonnet to be saying they want to. Because these boys may also be angry with them to say, okay, you all went to Abuja. How are we sure that monies did not exchange hands and you're coming to. And they didn't tell us. I'm sure they never interfaced with them when they came back from Abuja. So that tells you exactly that there's if an obvious and visible disconnect between these boys, also our Niger Delta people, and those people who call themselves leaders. So I said so-called leaders, because in most, whether it's doing Clark, whether it's whatever names they are called, they have never stood up to represent us, because most of them, they are pre-benders. They collect from governments and they spend on their own. Wait, did you not hear that rumor that my brother from Buguma, Dokuba Asari, there's so much money he built. It's actually Dokuba Asari. Dokuba is his first name. Okay. Asari is local government we come from. So I've been to his house, I know his house. He had a university across the border.
Yes, and not in Nigeria.
But university, let me also say, the university, of course, has been the government of that country has. The university no longer existing because they felt they didn't meet up with
the requirements.
Even though they had very beautiful structure and all that, but they just wanted to protect their own. So the university is no more in existence, but he still has secondary schools there. And as I say, somebody who just came from this, as Dokuba Asari secondary is the best in terms of structure, in terms of facility, over there in the Republic of Benin. How did the money come? How did the money come? From all this issue of agitation and all that, you understand? So
do you have any proof?
Does that prove? Come on, I said I'm from Niger Delta. Does Dokuba Asari represent me? The Tompolos of this world, they say, oh, they are fighting. Was it not giving a contract to guide the maritime waters and all that? So what he was giving, how did it benefit Edo? How did it benefit Cross River? How did it benefit even the man from Okrika? So all these things you have to look at. Because when you're seeking for the good of everybody, it may not go to everybody in terms of everybody if you literally see everybody, but it should be able to benefit the greater percentage of the people. If, for instance, I'm from the Edo North, that's Oshomale's place and all, Onwa and all that. If, for instance, I'm seeking the good of my people, I should be able to take something that at least the locals should benefit from, either by issue of helping them in making them how do I say now, engaged, or putting amenities that will be of benefit to everybody. Which of them has Dokuba Asari? The university, did he put it in Okoro and Koko? Did he put it in Bayelsa or in Degema? Or he didn't even cite it in his own Buguma in River State, that's in Asari Toru local government.
Of River State. Now, there's obviously a disconnect between this the Niger Delta people. You mentioned something that was very striking, that there is a difference between Niger Delta and the South.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they are
people
mistaken.
Get them mixed.
And they don't even know. Most people don't even know that Imo State, Abia State, Ondo State,
they are part of Niger Delta.
Niger Delta. So now, all of these things, do you think there's a need for restructuring of the leadership, first of all, of that Niger Delta, just so they have representatives? So the average Imo man, I am from Imo State, so the average Imo man does not feel cheated. The average Edo man, even the average Abia man in Ondo, does not feel cheated that these people are only talking about because really, I lived in River State, and most times when you hear the Niger Delta Adventures, you see people from mostly Ijo boys, Calabari or Krika, Bayelsa, you hardly see. And now, if really if really there's a Niger Delta, it should be spread across, not even the Avengers, the leadership of the Niger Delta people. So do you think they should start from restructuring their leadership, first of all, before asking for restructuring of
if you use that word restructuring, what it means is that the leadership there now has a legitimacy to exist. Nobody put them there.
But the president is meeting with them.
At what point did you elect? They have Ijaw National Congress, which is of course for Ijaws. I remember it was in 1991 when there had been, Ijaw had been within River State. They'd be agitating for they want to be on their own. So it was 1991 that a state that is homogeneous, Ijaw that is Ijo specific was created for them, which of course you got by Bayelsa today. Even though you have Ijo in Edo, you have Ijo in Ondo State, but at least they have a home, just like Ekiti has its own state. Okay, so Ijo was given that state in South. Okay, I have it with about 8 local government or so. So what I'm saying, if I said this is self-serving, most of it is this self-serving and all that, or self-appointed. The leaders who went to Abuja are the leaders of the Ijo National Congress, not the Niger Delta National Congress or the Brace States National Congress. I told you what Brace State means.
Yeah.
If you say, okay, this is a conglomeration of the Brace States or leadership of the Brace States, or the congregation of the leaders of the Niger Delta, I should see, possibly see an Oluwatobi or Oluwagbenga, somebody who's from Ondo State. Or, okay, they may not be Oluwagbenga, they bear their own name, this Ijo Ilaje names in the Ondo State. Why didn't I see Osage there? Why did I see Ideho there as a representative? Why did I see, maybe for instance, somebody from Umbise that went there to see the president? But all you were hearing, maybe you were hearing maybe Perebowe something or Owe something or all these their names over there. These were the people we also see. So it is not possible for a section of a very wide Niger Delta consisting of 9 states, including the 6 Brace states, to now begin to say they want to speak for everybody. So how am I sure that what they are asking for is what Edo people want in Niger Delta? How am I sure their shopping list that they took to Abuja is what the Imo man is asking for, or the Abia man will ask for, or the man from Elele in River State is asking for, or the man in Kana in Akwa Ibom is asking for, or the man from Ekotema is asking for. So the restructure of leadership, as I said, we can't talk about restructure of leadership, because that's why I say the language is not. I don't want to use that language restructure, because the leadership wasn't put in place by everybody. They do not enjoy the collective mandate of all the Niger Deltans put in place. Except we now say, okay, we want to have a body that is truly representative of all the 9 states of Niger Delta. You have 6 from the Brace states. You take 1 from the Dawn Commission state, and then you take 1 from the south. Take it from the southeast. You cannot put them together and say, okay, let's have equal representation. So these ones can now enjoy the legitimacy and all the paraphernalias of say, okay, they indeed represent the entire Niger Delta. They can speak for us. So in that case, it's also okay, we are sending you because there's an Edo man there who represents the interest of Edo man, of the Edo people. There's an Abia man who represents the interest of the Abia. I mean, peculiarly so, because the demand from Edo may not be the same demand from Abia State. Okay, in Edo State, we can say we are traumatized. We may not be traumatized by the issue of maybe we're having this gully erosions, but Imo State may have that. Do you understand? So what we demand from Edo may be something else. What Imo man will demand be something. So we need to come back together, as you say, if you want to borrow that. It's not about restructuring. We want to insist, good, I think that I found the word. We have to insist on having a body that will be truly representative of all the interests of all the 9 Niger Delta states. And of course, including the 6 Brace states together. Okay. That's when we'll have a Niger Delta representative.
Yeah, Charles,
yes.
Before we let you go, very briefly now, the militants have given the federal government 90 days, in other words, 3 months, within which, if these demands are not met, they're going to carry out the threat. If the federal government fails to meet with these demands, what do you think is going to happen?
Let me say, when I was on another TV station where you and I were before, there was a certain question, a similar question was also raised at 2014 or something, or thereabout, when there was also a similar demand. And I told them, it was the breakfast show, I told them, I said they should mark my word that no bullet will be shot. They said, why am I so sure? I said, I'm from there. I said, the reason for that is that those boys will say what they will do. What they are doing is that they want their own court. At the end of the day, some leaders Niger leaders who are in government today will say, well, let's even if they'll find something for those boys, and those boys say, okay, indeed we have our own share. No, go and mark it down. No bullet will be fired.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Charles.
Charles.
Thank you.
All right, now that was Charles Izeho, public affairs analyst and also a broadcast journalist. We'll take a short break now. Up next, sport lovers, stay tuned because Judechi is standing by to bring you up to speed with what's happening in the water sport. We'll be right back.
You go enter market, make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do na make you go for the up, open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again. My brother no waste time again. Just go buy Banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447. 08035644436 07066638213. Banga fresh palm fruit.
Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Welcome back. This is iBrand Daybreak. If you're just joining us, this is the sports segment of the show. Let me bring you up to speed with what's been going on between the last 24 hours. Yes, yesterday we got to see two wonderful games in the Euros 2020 competition. Let me start off with Spain, who are through to the quarterfinals of that one. It was a fabulous 3-3 game right there in the Euros yesterday, but it had to be Spain who did the honors over Croatia, who were the runners-up of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Spain, the winners of the 2010 World Cup. Yes, you could call that one a game of royal finalists. Spain coming so close to winning it in 90 minutes, but unfortunately for them, they had to be dragged into extra time with Croatia, and we got to see how Spain had to ensure that they could drag themselves through to the next round of the competition. Two wonderful goals in the extra time. Croatia also came so close, but it had to be Luis Enrique's men who made it through, and they will be facing on the winners of that game between France and Switzerland. Now, let me talk about France and Switzerland. Mainly, we are thinking that France would do it and go all the way to the finals of this one. But unfortunately, yes, I will tell you if you don't know already that France are out of this one. Yes, one of the favorites of the competition got knocked out last night by Switzerland. It was yet another high-scoring game yesterday. 3-3 yesterday, and unfortunately, unlike the Spanish game, they could not muster anything in the extra time of that one, and Switzerland went all out to win that one on penalties, and it had to be one man, the star boy of the French national team, Kylian Mbappe. He was the one who lost his own penalty and got France knocked out of that one. So right now, the quarterfinal, the way it's looking, it's gonna be the winners of both yesterday's games, Spain and of Switzerland. And today we'll get to see the final round of 16 games. France and Germany, and of course Sweden would be taking on their opponents in their own game. But the big one has got to be the one between the English national team and the German national team. Yes, Germany, one of the firepower in the world of football, and a lot of people are asking, can they bring back that form that we've always known them to have? We've seen how Germany have not been really the Germany we think they are at this competition. They managed to qualify from the group stages of this one, and they take on a formidable English side that have not considered any goal yet so far. It's up to Gareth Southgate. It's up to him and his lads. Many will be looking up to the likes of Harry Kane to be scoring for England. But let's see how it goes down later today, and when the finish, we'll also pay attention to that Sweden's game. Now let me move on from the Euros competition and talk about the one that is going on at the Wimbledon. Yes, started off, and we had the likes of Novak Djokovic, the man mania picking to win this one. Yes, Novak Djokovic, if he wins the Wimbledon, could be the first person to be winning major Grand Slams back-to-back, and we know he's coming into this winning the last Grand Slam that was just concluded. That's the Roland Garros. Yes, Novak Djokovic, and it's a good one. Yesterday he started off on a winning note. A first game, he's through to the next round of the competition. Expectedly, many will be hoping to see him go to the latter stages of the competition. But the surprise of yesterday has got to be the one about Stefanos Tsitsipas. He was unable to win this one. Remember, he is coming into this one as a finalist from the last Grand Slam, and many are also predicting that this man could be one of the big names at the tournament. But unfortunately for Tsitsipas, yesterday was just not his day. The first game for him in this competition, and after the first game, he got knocked out by a lowly rated player. Yes, Tsitsipas' run in the Wimbledon is out. That's a big update right now in Wimbledon. Michael, that's all I have for you right now on World of Sport.
Thank you so much, Jidechi. France losing to Switzerland was really least expected, to say the least. Margaret, we've got the social media buzz.
All right, then. Thank you, Chidechi. Once more, and now social media is buzzing as usual. Now, the trending one is they're asking the price, the high cost of food items now. And someone said, Okocha Kenneth Chukwudi said, please, is sardine now 500 naira, or somebody just wants to cheat an innocent man? Of course, you trust Nigerians to bring responses. Someone, Namika said, it is what it is. And Ali said, it's not more avoidable to a common man. Another response from Abosede said, yes, some people said it at 550 naira or 600. I was shocked on Sunday when I heard the price I humbly returned it and matched back. Juliana Jimeze said, yes, so that's the price now. Nobody is cheating you. You better go buy beans, chop the bread, and forget sweet mouth for now. Sharon said, this is not funny at all. Where are we heading to in Nigeria, please? And response again says, it will soon increase. Someone else said, I know they buy them again. And now I want to ask, really, not even I want to ask, I just want to say, it is what it is. Just like the first respondent, it says what it is. You can't avoid it. If you want to eat sardine, just know sardine is that I don't even know the best approach to take to this. So,
but the thing, must you eat sardine?
Well, you must eat.
What I'm trying to say now is there are 1,001 options out there for you. What does sardine give to the body?
Protein.
Talking about protein, like somebody mentioned, beans. We have beans.
But you can't say people should not eat what normally is it supposed to
then
increase? That's
go
the
for
problem.
it. Go for it.
Some people don't like beans. Some people prefer
That's what I'm
sardine.
saying. If you've got the money, go for it.
Well, no, I think the main point is sardine was just used as an instance. Things are outrageously expensive.
Yeah, they are.
You should not even get to this point.
We don't even expect the reverse is going to be the case anytime soon from the way things are going.
So if you ask people, must you use that? Then there's them asking, must you use fuel when you don't have electricity? That means fuel has increased, so you have to buy fuel for your gen. So must you use fuel when there's no lights? Yes, you must use fuel. So actually, things are outrageously expensive, and it's not supposed to be like that, because people are now even wondering how to eat. Not even the sardine thing. I was going to get milk yesterday, and the price was ×2. I got some 2 weeks ago, and I'm buying yesterday, and it's like it has increased. I'm like, I asked the lady, I bought this thing some days ago. She said yes, but it has increased today, and I had to buy
the cheapest thing that used to be, that's talking about sachet water, is now 20 naira
and
per sachet.
50 naira.
Can you beat that?
we hope Nigeria becomes better.
Let's just be optimistic.
It will become better. So, like, optimism is the best approach to things like this, because you can't kill yourself. And I always say, why worry about things you can't change? If you worry, how much of your worry will change the thing? But then
that is going to double your trouble.
Well, actually doubling your trouble. So in order not to double your trouble, join us again tomorrow. So we'll bring you, as you're laughing, I'm sure you're very happy the way you're laughing and you're excited, even though we know it's not really, the excitement is not really so much like that, but just try. At all, they say in pidgin na winch. But then we'll just, I'll wrap it up with a quote from, join us tomorrow, like I said, and I'll wrap it up with a quote from Stephen King that says, get busy living or get busy dying. Take that again from Stephen King. He says, get busy living or get busy dying. The choice is yours. So I'd rather get busy living my life, living my best life, irrespective of what the economy holds or what the society says. I'd rather get busy living my best life than dying in my best life. So join us again tomorrow, same time, same station, same link. 9 a.m. is the time tomorrow. My name is Margaret Opara.
You've heard that quote? Get busy living. That's the way to go. I'm Michael North. Catch you again tomorrow morning.